So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can start from scratch how to be a profitable trader. Now, if 2025 is the year that you are starting to wanting to get into that, this is the video for you. I'm going to break it down into phases 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and just give you what I would do if I was starting right now and what you can do to obviously get a profitable trader. Now, I know there's loads of things all over the internet with YouTube, with signals, with all these types of things. I get that. There's a load of BS, there's a load of fluff. I understand that. And you may be even watching this video and saying, what is this value? What is this guy going to bring to me? What can he do? Now, all I'm going to do is share this information with you. You can do with this as you will. But this is what I would do. After trading for around about 7 years, full time for 4 years, this is what I would do to shortcut that journey and obviously trade straight away and become profitable. So we're going to put this in phases, like I said. Phase 1 is going to be the foundational phase of your journey. Now, the mistake that I made and the mistake that most people do when they go into trading, they'll come across trading as a get rich quick scheme, preferably, well, not preferably, but mostly through a social media platform. Whether, you got TikTok crazy now or Instagram or whatever it may be. And now you've got YouTube that gives you that more in depth. But again, it's still where you're probably going to be, what's the word that I'm looking for? Exposed, should I say, to obviously trading in the first place. And I don't blame people falling for all that stuff. I did that in the last video. I understand that. But this is going to be what you need to do to get rid of all that noise. So number 1 is going to be our foundations. And number 1 in the foundations, because there's 5 steps within foundations, is define a goal. Now, you might be sat there and say, define a goal before I've even got into trading or before I even know what this trading is about. Yes, define a goal. Now, the one thing that I've struggled with is defining that goal for 3, 4, 5, 10 years time, because that can seem like we don't want to do that. It's like investing. But if you define that goal, it's very clear of what steps you need to take towards that goal. And you have to reverse engineer where you want to be at. You've heard this many a times, whether you're looking at self-development videos, self-mastery videos, business, entrepreneurship, whatever you're trying to do, you have been told numerous times by the people that have given you, well, not given you, by the people that have had success, you're then going to them and you're kind of ignoring their advice. I mean, it's a little bit crazy, really. However, you must define a goal at the beginning. Very, very important. Once you've defined that goal, you need to then pick a style of trading that you want. And again, you might be saying, well, how do I know what I want? You don't know at the beginning, but you will resonate with somebody. It could be me. It could be any other trader. It could be some Forex traders. It could be futures like me. It could be crypto. It could be whatever. You will start to resonate with a style that suits you. Okay. So that is just the beginning. That doesn't mean that you're going to stay with that style, but just find a style that you can start to understand, because your psychology is very, very different from mine. So you will perceive things in a very, very different way. Okay, so pick a style. Once you've picked that style and you say, well, I like the way that that individual trades, whether that's whoever that is, whether you found, it resonates with me. It suits the way that maybe I think. Like me, I'm a contrarian, so I always want to go against the herd. I'm a person who wants to walk away from the crowd. That might be you, and that style might resonate with you. You might be a person who wants to trade the same as everybody else and trying to do momentum trades, etc., and things like that. But pick that style. Once you've got that style, go all in on researching that style. So if you are a reversal trader like myself, go all in on finding out the signs to how to reversal trade, mean reversion. If you want to go with the trend and snipe and scalp and get in and out of the market, go and research everything about volume and orders coming into the market to push that price to where you need to get to. If you want to do whatever you want to do, all right, whatever you find that suits you, go all in on that strategy. Go all in. And that then is number 4 that I mean by picking that model. Once you've done that, that's the model that you have picked, right? Now, step 5, like I said, step 4 and 3 are kind of intertwined with each other. Step 5 in the foundational stage is remain in sync. And what do I mean by that? Well, I, for one, many people that are probably watching this video, when you get into trading, there's so much noise around you. You see one person saying they've earned 25 grand a day. You say this person saying that they've earned $500 a day or whatever it may be. And it's very, very hard to kind of get away from the noise. If you remain in sync with your strategy and with your community or mentor, which is towards the end, which you will find, but that will allow you to subconsciously develop skills in your mind that are growing day by day, and you don't even realize that they're growing. So remain in sync with what you're doing. For me, I trade the NQ futures. I used to trade Bitcoin every single day for 4 years. I moved because the ETF volatility went. And Bitcoin is now flying again. But then I moved to futures, and I only trade NQ futures 99.9% of the time to keep me in sync with that market. So it's very, very important that you keep in sync with what you're doing at the foundational stage. Phase 2. So once we now know what we're doing, we've got a little bit of interest in that market, we have to go to phase 2. And phase 2 is the one area that traders ignore time and time again, and successful people and unsuccessful people ignore time and time again. And that, my friend, is mindset. Now, you have heard me bang on about psychology and mindset. And the reason that is because without that strong mindset, you are not going to be successful in anything that you do, my friend. And I don't want to hurt your feelings, but that is the reality. The reality is, if you do not have the mindset to deal with adversity and to deal with what you need to do in the discipline, you're not going to be successful. It's as simple as that. Again, I mention it all the time. You know, I was a professional athlete. There was better footballers than me. There was also better footballers. I was better than some players, and they went higher than me because they had better discipline than me. And there was better players than me that I went higher than because I had more discipline with them. So it's very, very important that you figure this one out. Number one in our mindset, phase 2, is becoming new version of yourself. The 2.0 version, the becoming of the man, the becoming of the woman. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that is this is number 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Number 2, change your beliefs. Number 3, change your character. Number 4, change your traits. And they all come under number 1, which is becoming the better version of yourself. You need to rewire all the belief systems that you've had. Now, I teach a lot of people who are middle-aged, who have got money, they're invested in their time, they've been in a job, they've had businesses, they've got a family, and they're looking for that next freedom, and trading brings that. So we have to work with rewiring years, decades of habits. And this comes through sacrifice and education, which is number 5. Sacrifice and education. And let me start with the educational side. What you don't know, you don't know. And I get that from William Brown, the mentor business coach that I'm hopefully working with in 2025. And he talks about things that if you knew, you wouldn't be in the position that you're in now. Regardless, so ego needs to go to the side. So you need to educate yourself and change the way that you think on a day-to-day basis to become the person that you want to be. You won't be successful if you do not have a successful mindset. So changing your belief systems is tough because you have to change your environment. Changing your character, identity, who are you? I'm just reading a book at the moment called Awareness, and it speaks about who are you? Who are you? And you might say, well, I'm a nurse, or I'm a teacher. No, that's not who you are. That's your profession. Who are you? And many people don't even know who they are. They know their favorite celebrity. They might go on TikTok and watch someone for 4 hours, but they actually don't know who they are. So that's a good challenge for you to go and do that. And the reason you need this is because in trading, it will expose every single trait and fault and flaw that you have in your mindset. Every single one, because it is an emotional roller coaster. Trust me, I say it to all my mentees, you are going to find out just who you really, really are. And if you're not built for it and you're scared of fear or adversity, you're going to struggle. So go and get the 10 best-selling books on self-development and change your thinking. This is a process. Change your thinking. Phase 3. So phase 3 of this is then going to be applying the discipline. Okay. So we need to just put it under discipline. We need to apply that discipline. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to surround ourselves and find like-minded people. That's what we need to do. And you can find that here. You can find that in other communities. You can find that whatever. But you need to find like-minded people. And because this journey is going to be hard, but this phase has to come after you developing yourself. Because if you try and find like-minded people to be a trader before you've worked on your emotional abilities or your intelligence, emotional intelligence, you're just going to see it like every other conversation. Not interested, don't know what they're talking about. And you're not going to connect. You're not going to align. So applying discipline in phase 3 by finding like-minded people is going to be the key to you. And number 2 is finding like-minded people. Number 3 now is going to be finding a community, a mentor. Now, some people find it really, really hard because they think everybody in trading is scamming. That's what they think. And they might turn around and say, show me this and show me that. Traders are not going to do that. The only trader that's going to show you some whatever and all and how much money they make or whatever it may be, the majority of the time is to try and get you in. The traders that I work with, I have no idea what they earn at the end of the year or things like that, my old mentors. All I know is that their strategies worked. And I took that and then I created my own. That's what I did. So finding a community and mentor is key, and replicate what that mentor tells you day in and day out. My successful students replicate what I tell them. The unsuccessful students try and figure it out themselves. It doesn't make sense because you're trying to reinvent the wheel. The wheel will always be round. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. So that's number 3 within the phase 3. Now, phase 4, which is our final phase, sheets and systems. What do I mean by sheets and systems? If you're not tracking your progress, your trades, how on earth do you think you're going to get anywhere? I have a free journal. The link is in this description, I think, somewhere. There's a free journal. You can use that. There's a journal on TopStep. There's a journal in TradeZilla. There's a journal everywhere. You can have a paper journal, whatever it may be. But you must track what you're doing because you're not going to know whether you're progressing or whether you're not, or you're going backwards. It doesn't make sense. And then I move on to systems. Now, systems, sheets are part of systems, but systems, I mean in your life. By tracking the data, excuse me on that one, but by tracking the data, you're going to know what's the best times for me to trade. That's all on TopStep database. What's the best times for me to trade? Is it London? Is it the first hour? Is it the last hour? Is it New York? Is it the first hour? Is it the imbalance? Is it later on in the day? That's then going to allow you to build a system, your life around trading, trading around your life, not the other way around. Because you may have family, most people, you may have commitments, health, mindset, fitness, freedom, time with family. These are the most important things. And then trading. But you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice something, as we know. And that sacrifice is going to have to be, if you're down the pub or whatever you do with your friends or whatever, that's got to go. Those little hobbies have got to go at this moment in time while you develop this to be a top trader. And this is the hardcore truth, people. This is no nonsense. This is hardcore truth that for you to be a successful trader, these are the things that you are going to have to do. Okay. So sheets and systems. Number 2 within this phase 4 is repeat daily. It is boring, but let me tell you something. And let me tell you something very, 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 very clear here, my friends. When I was a professional footballer, people said to me, God, what a life you must have. It was crazy, but also boring. Now I live on the outside, a very steady, boring life, but I'm never bored. So repeat what you like every single day where it's boring to the average person, but you won't get bored because you love the process. So repeat this daily. And the final point of this, number 3, in relation to repeating it daily, number 2, is aggressive patience. Andy Fischella says this. I've spoken about this for the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years, maybe even 6 years when I did 75-day hard. Andy Fischella talks about aggressive patience, which means you need to be aggressive every day in becoming this new version of yourself and this trader, but have patience that it's going to take 12, 6, 24, 34 months, whatever it may be. That's what you need to have. But without the beginning stages, without the foundations, without the mindset, this is never going to happen, my friends. Never going to happen. Now, again, as always, if you want to join and you want to know how I work and you want to book a call with me, there is a link below. There is some questions for you to answer because I don't just work with everybody. I work with committed people who are willing to invest their time and energy, because what I give to you, we want back. Okay. So we need to make sure that we are a good fit for you and you are a good fit for us. If you want to do that, that's fine. If not, follow these steps. Use your time rather than your currency and go and become the better version of yourself. That is it, my friends. On a Saturday night, I'm making this video. Imagine that, on a Saturday night.